Thank you for joining us at our webinar, Your Gateway to Germany, Steps to Start Your Business. Today, we will learn a little bit more about the state of North Rhine-Westphalia as a business location in Germany, and as well from my colleague Florian Schnitzler, as well as about the steps to starting your business from Marius Rosenberg from TIGGES Law. He will tell you the do's and don'ts of getting into the German market and how to start. And last but not least, we will hear from Alexandra Klein, the CEO of Wheelshare in Germany, about how it was for her to open her business from an Israeli startup in Germany. So with further ado, I would like to give the word to my colleague Florian Schnitzler at NRW Business in Düsseldorf. He is in charge of the startup unit as well as Israel, and he will tell you a bit more about how to get started in North Rhine-Westphalia.
Thank you very much, Mara. Good morning. Shalom to everybody. Mara presented myself, so you know everything about me. So let's jump into the presentation. I will talk about the region of North Rhine-Westphalia. I will focus the presentation on the startup and our startup ecosystem here in North Rhine-Westphalia. I'm going to skip this slide actually because Mara already told you what we are doing. We are the trade and invest agency of North Rhine-Westphalia. Basically, we help foreign investors or foreign companies when they want to settle their business here in the region of North Rhine-Westphalia. We are accompany them from the start to the end, of course, with a network of partners and professionals. And we are also on the other side helping companies from North Rhine-Westphalia when they are doing business abroad. We are offering business trips to some different countries on different topics, and we are also present on trade fairs. So my question is, where to find startup in Germany when you're looking at our beautiful country? Where are all the startup based? Well, mostly, as you can see on this graph, there you're gonna find in first hand the startups based in the capital city of Germany in Berlin. But on the second position, North Rhine-Westphalia is there with 18.7% of all startup, way before Bavaria on the third place. So I think we have something to show or something to say about startup and a digital economy here in this region. But let's go back a bit in the past to, for you to understand a bit what's the essence of North Rhine-Westphalia. Basically, it was and it still is the industrial heartland of Europe and, of course, of Germany. As you can see on the pictures, it looked like this in the 60s and 70s. While in some part of the region, you can still have this industrial plant that you can see, or the remain of it, that being turned into cultural UNESCO landscapes, I would say. But what is important to understand is that the major industry sectors in gross added value in North Rhine-Westphalia 2 years ago were the metal production, the chemistry industry, the mechanical engineering, and the manufacturing of plastic, rubber, and glassware, and still true today. But today we are still in this industrial region with strong B2B startup focus. So basically, if you are a startup doing business and where if your customers are the biggest industry companies, then I think that North Rhine-Westphalia can be a good place for you to be, as well as the energy sectors. We are also well known for our energy companies here in the region, but let's talk about it a little bit later. Um, we have like a startup ecosystems, and when we really focus on the region itself and to find where you can find the startups, well, mostly you're gonna find them in the biggest city, obviously, of the region. First hand Cologne, Düsseldorf, Bonn, Aachen, which is very close to the Netherlands and to Belgium, so you're very very close to the other European country, as well as Essen, Bochum, Dortmund. As you can see on the graph, they are very dark green, and that's to enlighten the density of startups that you can find here in North Rhine-Westphalia. And let's talk about the sectors where or what the startup are doing in North Rhine-Westphalia. Well, in first hand, the majority of startups here in the region are developing softwares. On the second position, these are startups regarding the e-commerce industry. And on the third place, the med tech industry is a very big topic here in the region. We have like the World Trade Fair and famous one Medica taking place in Düsseldorf for all the medical engineering and the medical world, I would say. And that's one of the reasons why you can find so many med tech here in startup, because you are close to a lot of hospitals and yeah, medical, technical industry players who are spread all around the region. We are also known to be home to startup champions. I just took some examples that you can find spread all around the region in the biggest city, I would say, and covering almost all different industry categories. So, for instance, you're going to find Flaschenpost in Münster, which is in the business field of e-commerce and logistics. Maybe you know DeepL if you are looking to translate some text from one language to another based with artificial intelligence. Well, actually, it's a German startup, and it's a startup from North Rhine-Westphalia, from the city of Cologne. So maybe good to know for your next uh, dinner to brag about it. And maybe I just wanted to put also into the spotlight Tonies in Düsseldorf, which is in the creative industry, mostly doing kids stuff, like a box for the kids to hear some stories, and they're like buying some franchise like the Marvel or the Disney franchise to use like the little figurines that you put on the box, and then the story starts. And it's very, very popular in Germany, but also beyond Germany in Europe. Um, I put it also in my presentation, one last survey that PVC took in 2024, and was asking how happy the startup in Germany were, and focus on the different regions. So one of the figure that we got is that 74% of startups not in North Rhine-Westphalia rate their ecosystem as very good, and which is more than the average value of all Germany, which is at the 58% level. So I guess that it's a good indicator that the region is doing very good in the field of helping startups, creating their business, but also growing, and trying to be there for them. They really like to find the proximity to university. That's a slide coming. You're going to see that because we are so dense, so many people in one region, we are 18 million people. So that's the reason why we get so many university and so many young talent that you can find here. The networking with other startup funders is maybe another factor that a lot of people appreciated when doing the surveys. That because we are very close to another, the city is very not so far away, maybe 30 kilometers at least from Düsseldorf to Cologne and to the other ones. So it's quite easy for startup founders to exchange with another and have some good practices. We have like good economic policy initiatives regarding the hubs and financing. It's going to be the next slide. And the training programs for funders that the region offers is also much appreciated. I told you about the university, and of course, always related to the biggest cities, of course, of the region. But you can find in North Rhine-Westphalia more than 750,000 students, which represent 26% of all the students spread around all the country in Germany. And in those different university, we have, of course, innovative fields of study regarding artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, which is one of the major topic, for instance, in Bonn or in Bochum. Genetics, sustainable development, renewable energy, machine learning, and analytics. It's all linked with the key accounts that you can find spread all around the region. And speaking about the ecosystem, turn to the PVC survey. The people were happy that they have like a good ecosystem of digital hubs. That's true. We have like 5 regional digital hubs and more than 30 initiatives for the digital economy in North Rhine-Westphalia. I put it in this slide, the 5 digital hubs that you can find spread around the region. they have like the goal or the aim of their existence is to support startups with market access and to connect them with the SME and the key accounts of their different regions. So when you are considering starting a business in North Rhine-Westphalia, it's of course important to look at the city where you want to be based and the ecosystem around and the players, of course, around, because if you are very close to your potential customers, maybe sitting in the same in the same city, then it's much more easier to get access to them. And of course, playing with the initiatives and the hubs that we have, and they can also help to do the connection. So basically what they offer, these digital hubs, is co-working spaces, of course, and qualifying measures for the B2B expansion. Talking about the key account, of course, it's not representative because we have much more than those, but maybe you know some of them because it's quite well known on worldwide trademark like Vodafone, Metro, Eon, Bayer, Fujifilm, Ford, Air Liquide. You're all gonna find them here in the region, spread around the different city that we have. Talking about the different events that we can find here regarding the digital economy. Basically, the 5 digital hubs that I presented before are organizing their own events, or flagships events. Some of them are quite small, some of them are quite big and have more than a regional spread out. I would say that one of the most international event that we have regarding the digital economy organized by a Digi Hub is the Future Tech Fest, taking place every summer in Düsseldorf. It's like one day, a trade fair and some program all around to bring all the key accounts and biggest player of the digital economy from North Rhine-Westphalia to the trade fairs. And of course, the exhibitors are the startups from North Rhine-Westphalia trying to sell their innovation to the local player. But of course, as you can see on the slide, you can find also different or other digital events, but maybe more regional than the Future Tech Fest from Düsseldorf. If you want to find a resume or a sum up of all that I said right now, go to gründen.nrw. You're gonna find this interactive map, and you're gonna find all the accelerators, all the incubators, the co-working spaces, the different hubs, different initiatives, all the different associations. It's an interactive map, and you can see you can switch on and switch off the different buttons to make them interactive and to maybe find the right person or the right institution or the right company that you are looking for. And I want to finish my presentation to present you an upcoming grant that we are offering to international startup willing to start into the German market from a base in North Rhine-Westphalia. We called it the Startup Welcome Package. It's going to start next month, so just in a few weeks, I would say. And what is the Startup Welcome Package? As I said, it's a grant that NRW Global Business is giving to international startup. It's an amount of 10,000 euro per startup that you can use on 2 pillars. We called it pillars. One, it's the presence in a co-working space in North Rhine-Westphalia. You have to be 90 days in a co-working space in North Rhine-Westphalia. That's the reason why you can use the money for. And when you are proving that you are there, then you can use the rest of the money for consulting services by third parties. Speaking of lawyers, B2B services, if you want to have the services of Marius, who's going to talk just after me, it's included in the 10,000 euro grant that we are offering. Of course, there are some criteria. You cannot have it directly. You need to apply for it. You need to be like in our target group, and the target group is those criteria that we have, that you need to be a startup, a scale up, or a small and medium enterprise, but younger than 10 years old. You need to prove that you are a registered company in your home country. Well, speaking of Israel, you need to prove that you are already registered in Israel. Which is important is at the time of application, you shouldn't have a registered company in Germany, nor has a business location in Germany. And you need to also in your application say that you have the clear intention to be active on the long run on the German market, and you cannot applying for the 10,000 euro then and then go back to Israel. That's not necessarily what we are looking for. With this grant, we want to make our region attractive for you to at least or at last settle down your business here or opening an entity here in Germany, or at least in our region of North Rhine-Westphalia. We are looking at some selection criteria which are quite wide, I would say, or quite open. We are checking the degree of innovation of the business model and the scalability. We are paying attention to the positive effects for the business location of North Rhine-Westphalia. And we are trying to do also a check of the sustainability of the business plan, and if you are considering the sustainability in your business plan at least. If you are interested to have more information, we're gonna get a website in English in the next few weeks, and there's a reason why I'm gonna launch it in the next few weeks, because I have everything in German but not in English so far. But our marketing team is working hard on it, and it's gonna be live at the beginning of October. So you're gonna find all the information that I told you in English in our website. In the meantime, of course, if you want to be on the waiting list for this information, don't bother and send me an email at my email address, or we have also a generic email address called the startup at NRW.Global.Business.com. So that's all for me. I hope that I got you some very information and insightful information regarding our region and made you interested in North Rhine-Westphalia.
Thank you so much, Florian. If I wasn't already a big fan of North Rhine-Westphalia, then I would certainly be convinced now. Also, what I forgot to mention earlier, if there are any questions for Florian or for any of our speakers, please feel free to send them in the chat. We will have some time for Q&A later, and we will read out all your questions and make sure to get them answered. So then I would like to move on to our next speaker, which is Marius Rosenberg. Marius is a partner at the TIGGES law firm based in North Rhine-Westphalia, and he specializes in international business law. And he has actually been here in Israel with us twice, one time last year, and especially important to me, certainly one time this year, even though the current climate, it's not that we don't take it for granted. So it was great to have him here. He's familiar with the business culture here in Israel as well as in Germany, and he will present you now a bit about the first steps to starting your business in Germany and the do's and the don'ts. So Marius, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mara, and good morning, everyone. Yes, give me a second to share my screen, and then we can start immediately. Okay, so I hope this worked. Yes, so for the next 20 minutes, I will take a walk around with you how to start your business in Germany, what steps you should do, what you should consider, which pitfalls you might face, and how to avoid them. And yes, in a nutshell, TIGGES law firm, my law firm, we are 29 lawyers in Germany and in Poland. For example, I'm born Polish, so I speak and write both languages, and our headquarters is here in Düsseldorf, in the capital of North Rhine-Westphalia. We advise companies on all major legal and tax issues in the international and national activities, and we are part of International Commercial Law Alliance, which allows us to work worldwide. And about me, also in a nutshell, I'm lawyer and partner at TIGGES since 2009. So meaning at the end of this year, I will be doing this since 15 years. I'm a specialist for international business law, and not surprising, I focus on corporate M&A and startups, and yeah, how especially foreign startups and foreign companies to enter the German market. First question, we had a great overview from Florian about North Rhine-Westphalia. I would like to look in some few sentences on Germany as a whole. So still Germany is a highly attractive investment destination, not only for startups, but also for established companies and investors in the heart of Europe, with a GDP in 2023 of approximately 4.1 trillion. Germany still maintains its position as Europe's largest economy and the fourth largest globally. You all know it, the brand made in Germany still stands for quality, durability and reliability, and has still a unique reputation. Regarding startups in Germany as a whole, they have raised 10 billion in venture capital, which shows that we have attractive funding climate and a vibrant startup ecosystem. And as Florian also already mentioned, we have various government initiatives, such as the High-Tech Strategy 2025, the Exist program, and different financial offers and advisory support for new businesses and also for foreign founders and foreign businesses. And so this makes Germany as a whole quite attractive. And as we have seen, the region North Rhine-Westphalia and the federal state North Rhine-Westphalia is a ecosystem for itself. And for me, I would say, not only saying this because I'm based in North Rhine-Westphalia, I would say it's the most attractive region to start its business in Germany. So this is why you should come here, or these are the reasons if you consider to come to Germany. And how can you enter German market? So here it depends. Let's say it depends on what you want to do and who you are. First possibility, if you only want to trade or sell goods, then you don't have to have a German entity. You can also work with a commercial representative, for example, but this is just to mention it. This is not what we will talk about today. Then, of course, you have the possibility to acquire an existing company or an existing business. What means, or what would mean, that you are already an established company and you buy something to enter into German market this way. And what we will focus on today is to start a business in Germany from the scratch. So means to start with an own company from zero and to start your business activities here. And these are the questions when you want to enter the German market you should ask yourself, because depending on the answers, they will have a certain impact on other decisions that you have to take by or in the whole process that in formatting your company and starting it to run. So first of all, do you need, or do I need to be physically present in the German market? So this was what I wanted to show. If you say, I want to be here with an own entity, and this answer is yes, then you should create a company here. Do I need a business partner, or can you do it alone? Which location will be best for your business, and does it matter at all? So for example, if you're a startup, as we have heard, we have a vibrant startup ecosystem here in North Rhine-Westphalia. So it might be a good idea to start here. But of course, it's also depending where your customers, your future customers are, where your business contracts will be located. Then furthermore, you have to ask yourself what manpower you will need. This is quite important from financial issues, but also when starting hiring first employees. For you as the one who is, let's say, the shareholder, managing director, can you manage your business remotely, or do you require a person on site? I think Alexandra will tell us some interesting aspects on that, but you should consider this from the beginning on. And the last question leads me now to my next slide. Which legal form is best to start your business here in Germany? Because this, as well as in Israel, in Germany, we have several legal forms of company which differ from each other in certain details. And I will just present you the most recommendable company form for you as the ones who start as foreigners business in Germany. And this is the German Limited Liability Company. Gesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung is the German full word, or GmbH. I will call it limited. I think it's a little bit easier than to call it GmbH. So what are the advantages? First of all, you have a limited liability. This is quite important. So the limited is an own legal person, and only your limited is liable towards third parties. So you, as the ones, as the founders, as the shareholders, you have to start with capital, the share capital, which at least is 25,000 euros. You don't have to pay it in full. I will explain this on my next slide. But this capital of your limited and the assets your limited has, only they are responsible and liable towards third parties. You, as the shareholder, as a person, you are not liable for anything that your company does. So this is one of the biggest advantages that it provides. You can start it as a single shareholder, so only one person is needed. It's that you don't have to be at least two persons to establish a German limited. And it's not important if you are an individual or a company. So also an Israel company can be the sole shareholder and the sole founder of a German limited. Yeah, it's a highly reputable company form. So the same as the brand made in Germany, the same is if you are a Gesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung, then the market puts a certain trust in you. You can see this how popular it is on the amount of limiteds we have in Germany. It's almost 1.2 million, so it's the most popular company form. You have to be registered in the trade registry, and it's represented by a German general manager, the so-called Geschäftsführer, which can be one person or several persons. So it's quite simple to run. It's not complicated, like for example, a stock company where you have higher formal hurdles. And how does it work? So to establish a German limited, it's not possible, let's say, to do it online. You have to go to a notary. So this is let's say one thing that you should know. You need a German notary to establish such a company, and the whole foundation process, at least if everything works perfect and you have no delays or whatever, can take 2 weeks, but it can also take up to 10 weeks. For example, the limited is fully established when it's entered into the trade registry, and when this takes some time, for what reasons ever, then you just have to wait. So what you do then is to prepare the articles of association, and I would say this is the first time where you should have some advice from an expert, from a legal expert who can help you to prepare articles of association. It doesn't mean that you need a 40-page whatever articles, but in the end, it's just a legal job, and articles can be quite short. They can fit on 2 pages. Not more is needed, but you have to know what to insert into it, because you need certain information and certain points that belong into the articles, starting, of course, with the name of the company. And here you should check if the name perhaps is a trademark or already used by someone else. You should check something like that before. So if you would have, I know it's a stupid idea, but if you would have the idea to call your new limited Mercedes GmbH, perhaps it's not the best idea. It already exists. Then you need your registered office, so you have to decide for a city. You have to have a corporate purpose, so means a short description in 1 or 2 sentences what the activities of your limited will be. Yes, and the share capital, how high it should be, at least 25,000 euro, can be more, and how many shareholders you are and what their contributions will be. So these are the information that you need. And then you have to pass an appointment at a notary. You don't have to come by yourself. Yeah, it's if for any reasons you can't come to Germany to notarize the formation of your company as the shareholders, this is no problem. You can issue a power of attorney, for example, to people like me. And then the person you have empowered goes to the notary and does it for you. This is, let's say, the way to do it without coming to Germany for any reasons, just for you to know that this is also possible. And also important in this connection, not every country does this. In Germany, you have no restrictions who the shareholders are. So, as I already mentioned, the shareholders of a German limited can be individuals, but it also can be companies, and it makes no difference if the shareholders are domestic, so German, or from abroad. This is not important for a formation of a company. Then you have to appoint at least 1 general manager, the so-called Geschäftsführer. He is responsible, and this is the person who acts for the company. So the company is not represented by the shareholders. The company is represented by the general manager or the general managers, but general manager also can be at the same time shareholder. So you can appoint one of the shareholders or all shareholders as general managers. And here also important to know, the general managers don't have to be German citizens. They don't have to live in Germany, and they don't even have to speak German. So any person from abroad can be any individual from abroad can be general manager. If this makes sense, then in the end is another question. But you have no restrictions in that kind. But if a general manager of a limited wants then to be present here in Germany and to live here in Germany and work in Germany, he or she will need a work permit and a resident permit. But I will come back on this in a minute. Yeah, then as I said, you have to register the company in the trade registry. This might take some time. And here we have a certain pitfall, because to get registered in a trade registry, you have to prove that you have paid in the share capital, and you have to pay in at least 50%. So when you start with the minimum share capital of 25,000 euro, you have to pay in 12,500 euro. For this, you have to open a bank account. So you go with your notary deed, you go to a bank and you say, I just notarized the articles for a new company, please open a bank account. They open you the bank account, you pay in the money, then you take this this receipt that you have, send it to the trade registry, and then they register you. And this is quite a problem, because especially due to anti-money laundering laws and other administrative acts, it's challenging to open a bank account for a fresh established company without so being constituted only from people from abroad and who are not present here in Germany. So this can be challenging. There is a workaround. The workaround is that you, as the general manager, can instead of present a receipt of a bank that you have paid in the money, you can declare by an own confirmation that you have the money in cash. Yeah. This is a workaround. So you can also present to the trade registry such an own declaration that you have the money in cash. You don't have to prove it if you have it in cash or not. So you don't have to send a photo from you with a couple of bills. But this only helps you in the first moment to get registered. When you then want to start your business, you need a bank account. You just need a bank account, and this is, as I said, can be quite challenging. So just consider this, that it's then good to have someone here in Germany who is a person that you can name as a representative, and this helps a lot. Yes, and the last point I already mentioned, capitalization, at least 12,500 euros. And when you have done all this, yeah, then you can start your business. You will, of course, still you need to be registered at a tax office so that you get a tax ID, a VAT ID, so that you can issue invoices. Further administrative stuff, then you can start to hire first employees. Here, perhaps important for you to know, in Germany, we have a statutory minimum wage of 12 euro per hour. So you have to pay this at least. You have to register your employees for social security and health security. This is mandatory in Germany. And what you also should know, Germany has a strong dismissal protection for employees. It's regulated in a Dismissal Protection Act, Kündigungsschutzgesetz, which is fully applicable when you have 10 or more employees. So when you then the system hire and fire doesn't work in Germany. Yeah, so I would say that's it at this moment. And perhaps one additional thing, as I see that I have still 2 minutes left. How to get a residence permit and work permit here in Germany for Israelis. You have the possibility to apply for it already being in Germany. So you don't have to apply for a working visum in Israel. You can do it here. And for example, if you have a college degree, then you can apply for a visum to search for working place, which corresponds to your college degree, 6 months. You just have to fill out the application, have a passport, of course, and prove that you have at least 6,162 euros to be able to live here for 6 months. And when you then have found a job, which can, for example, be a job at your own company. So when you establish the company and you employ yourself at your own company, this may be the way for you to get residence permit and the work permit. So you don't have to leave Germany. Then you can apply for a blue card or whatever. Okay, so I know this was quite much information in very short time, and as I said, we took a small walk around, but perhaps take this with you when you consider to enter German markets. Be prepared, as you saw for me, and in the end, this is not rocket science, but it's more than to fill out an online form. So just be prepared and know what is awaiting you. Yeah, bring some time and patience. So unfortunately, Germany is not a country where you can say on Monday, I want to start my business on Tuesday. You have to take some weeks until you are fully operable. Of course, you can use the time already to make contracts, to search for people and whatever. But until your company is fully operable, just consider this takes some weeks. And strong recommendation, go with a good and reliable partner. So take someone who helps you to enter into German market, who will lead you through the whole process, who will help you, who will tell you, okay, you need this document and that document. Believe me, I do it, as I said, for, in the meantime, 15 years. This will save you time and nerves. And don'ts, I mention it here and only at the end. In German, you also have the possibility to create a small limited company. So it's called an Unternehmergesellschaft. And the difference, the only difference to the limited that I explained to you is that you don't need this minimum capital of 25,000 euros, but you can even start with a capital of €1. Okay, so you don't have, let's say, put in this money. The problem is this small limited. It's not treated by the market. It's not treated, let's say, as a serious ambition of foreign founders to enter into German markets. So this is one, I would say it's one of the biggest mistakes you can make when you enter into German market. And instead of starting with a normal limited, the GmbH, you start with the small limited. I can almost give you a guarantee. No landlord will be willing to give you rooms for office. Banks will say, "Oh, thank you for having you, but please go away," and so on. So please start with the normal limited, and you will not have this problem. Yeah, as I said, do your homework, have a research a little bit, have a good plan before starting your business, and yeah, don't underestimate German bureaucracy. It sometimes just works slow and is a little bit exhausting. So that's it from my side. Here are my contact details, and yes, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you could take some good information with you.
Thank you so much, Marius. I am, for once, I can say I will, after hearing all of this, but of course also beforehand, I definitely will not be underestimating German bureaucracy. Especially I loved when you said like the exact number you have to have in your bank account, and it was like 62 or something. So I can tell it's very exact. Do we have any questions for Marius for now? If so, please feel free to raise your hand or to write them in the chat, or just unmute yourself. Okay, nothing so far. Okay, Marius has been so kind and he has kind of created a handout as well where he has summarized these points, so we will share them with you later. And if there's any questions that come up at a later time, you saw his email address and we will also make sure to share it with you. And so please don't hesitate to reach out to him. Thank you so much, Marius.
Thank you, Mara.
So then we will move on to Alexandra Klein. Alexandra has worked with me actually in Israel for many years at the German-Israeli Chamber of Commerce, and she recently moved back to Germany to be the CEO of the Israeli startup Wheelshare, to be the CEO in Germany, and she therefore had to open a company in Düsseldorf, and she will now share a little bit with us about how that went and what you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, thank you, Mara. And hi, nice to meet you all. I hope you can see my presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so hi, my name is Alex. As Mara already said, I'm the CEO of Wheelshare Germany since March this year. But before I'm telling you more about us and how I joined Wheelshare, a few words about, our company and what we are doing. So we are optimizing mobility service with our self-service wheelchair sharing hubs for hospitals and airports. Maybe you have seen them in several locations in Israel before. Sorry. Okay. And so how did we get there? As Mara already said, the company was founded in 2017 in Israel. And after installing the first stations at Tel Aviv Medical Center Ichilov and providing hospitals, 90% of the hospitals in Israel in 2019 and 20, Wheelshare decided to start their market entry to Germany. Actually, in 2020, they started on their own and quite fast came across the language barrier, which is, of course, not true for every sector in Germany, but for hospitals especially. So they decided in 2021 to reach out to the AHK, where Mara is located and where I was working back then, and to ask for some support with their market entry support program. What is that program about? It's actually about helping Israeli startups with their first outreach to Germany with the goal to schedule some first meetings, and then basically the startups are able to present the solution themselves. And this program was so successful that the chamber managed to schedule a first meeting with Charité in Berlin, which is the best hospital in Europe and in Germany, and actually even to install a first free pilot. I'm mentioning this here because I think that was crucial. When you don't have some experience from the German market, it really helped us to offer this first free pilot to start within the market faster. And otherwise, especially with Charité, for example, you quite fast end up with tender processes and so on. And that was a way to go around that. And what came out of this is also that we received a reference letter from Charité, which then helped us a lot in reaching out to other hospitals. With that, of course, also came a lot of translations, which the AHK helped with as well. And after this first proof of concept, Wheelshare decided to open a GmbH, and that was with the help of NRW.Global Business, Florian, Mara, and also the AHK. And with that, we also received an introduction to TIGGES, which you heard about now as well. In the beginning, just because it was mentioned before, we stayed with the CEO of the Israeli company as a founder for the GmbH as well. So besides that, last year, there was the first full-time employee which were the boots on the ground. I was still living in Tel Aviv back then and working with the chamber and supporting the startup a bit from the side, but there was actually the first sales full-time employee in Germany, and 2 interns, which is also a program from the AHK Israel. It's called New Kibbutz Program. If you're interested about, I'm sure you can reach out to Mara afterwards. It's basically about bringing German students to Israel, which right now it's also done remotely, of course, and about a cultural exchange. And this internship program was so successful for us that this year we even decided to have one of these students as our second full-time employee. And I'm by now the third one, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So with the boots on the ground, we were focusing, of course, on the expansion on the German healthcare market, and with some first conversations with German airports. But we figured out quite fast that it's important to keep the focus within the healthcare market and hospitals only, because it takes time, it's processes, and you have to have a bit of patience. And just because that was also mentioned before, opening a bank account in Germany was also quite challenging for us because of the money laundering act. But we decided to open a European bank account with Wise, which definitely works for the beginning. Since we had now 2 years of proving the concept in Germany, we and of course a lot of learnings, but basically proving that it's working. I decided to go to Germany and to be the German CEO of the company, and with that also building the more of an infrastructure which helps us for scaling the business, which also, since I'm now the CEO of the company, it's much easier to open the German bank account. For example, we now have a new tax consultant, a local warehouse. We have a nationwide external maintenance company, or a few of them, because Germany is, of course, much bigger than Israel, and small things like the German website and so on. Besides that, so we are located in Düsseldorf. We chose NRW and Düsseldorf because of all the reasons you have heard before. Most hospitals are located in NRW, but most important, we receive from the beginning, it's a great network. You're introduced to a lot of people. Whenever you need something, you have your point of contact who can help you with that. And we, for example, through NRW Global Business, we also got to know our new offices, which is Tech Hub in Düsseldorf. It's also supported by the city of Düsseldorf. And it's more of a community with hub mentors like big corporates like UPS and 3M and the airport, basically. So we're receiving a lot of support through that as well. And just to sum it up, you have to bring a bit of patience. As you see, for us, it also took around 2 years to now be able to really scale the business. But in the end, it's all about the network. And since we went through that process, I'm happy if you're reaching out to me in the future, if you have specific questions regarding your market entry steps, because I think every single market entry is very different. Feel free to reach out. Maybe I can help you with some introductions or give you some tips, some learnings we've made. And I'm happy if you're reaching out to me. And you can see my contact details here, but I think Mara will share them afterwards too as well.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. I think that the story of Wheelshare is such a good example of a successful launch into the German market. but also of all the pitfalls, of course, that can happen. Are there any questions for Alexander now? If so, like I said earlier, you can write in the chat or talk or raise your hand. Okay, no questions for now. Thank you, Alex. So then this was it for the agenda today. Thank you so much to all the speakers. Before everyone leaves, I just want to mention a few things. So first of all, like you understood from this, if you have any interest in entering the German market, or specifically the market in North Rhine-Westphalia, of course, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us, to me here in Tel Aviv, or to my colleagues, or to Florian in Düsseldorf, Marius, or Alex. I will make sure to share everyone's contact details. Please also, if you were thinking, I'm sure you all had to create a profile on our NRW.Global.Connect platform to enter and to join this webinar. If you're not familiar with it yet, it's a platform that we founded to connect Israeli companies with the companies in North Rhine-Westphalia. So we would very much encourage you to fill out all of your contact details. I saw that a lot of you just put your name. We would encourage you to create also a company profile and to really make use of it. It allows you to match with, like I said, with companies in North Rhine-Westphalia or in Israel and vice versa, and to post about requests or offers that you might have. But we also fill it with activities and with content. So please make sure to sign up and create a full profile to use all the advantages that it has to offer. Everything else, I will make sure to send to you after this webinar with the contact details and the handout for Marius that I promised, as well as the recording of this webinar. Thank you everyone so much for joining, and we hope to see you at our next webinar soon. Thank you.
Thank you.